Gathering new knowledge. Research on reconciliation. For reconciliation to thrive in the coming years, it will also be necessary for federal, provincial, and territorial governments, universities, and funding agents to invest in and support new research on reconciliation. Over the course of the Commission's work, a wide range of research projects across the country have examined the meanings, concepts, and practices of reconciliation. Yet there remains much to learn about the circumstances and conditions in which reconciliation either fails or flourishes. Equally important, there are rich insights into healing and reconciliation that emerge from the research process itself. Two research projects sponsored by the Commission illustrate this point. Through a TRC-sponsored project at the Centre for Youth and Society at the University of Victoria, 7 Aboriginal youth researchers embarked on a digital storytelling project. Residential Schools Resistance Narratives, Strategies and Significance for Indigenous Youth. The project enabled youth researchers to learn about the critical role that resistance and resilience played in the residential schools and beyond, but also allowed them to reflect on their own identities and roles within their families and communities. One youth researcher said that, quote, "What started as a research job turned into a personal hunt for knowledge of my own family's history with residential schools," end quote. Others noted the importance of respecting and incorporating ceremony and protocols into their digital storytelling projects. Asma Antoine, the project coordinator, reported that the group learned the importance of, quote, "knowing that when speaking to a survivor, you have to hear their past before you can hear their understanding of resistance." This project allowed the group to have a learning process that weaves together traditional Indigenous and Western knowledge to build our stories of resistance. This research project has ignited a fire that shows in each digital story. The passion of resistance that validates the survival and resiliency of First Nations people and communities provides hope for healing and reconciliation over the next 7 generations. End quote. Footnote 118. In 2012, a digital storytelling project was undertaken by Aboriginal women at the Prairie Women's Health Centre for Excellence. Natapwewainanen, Ongoing Effects of Residential Schools on Aboriginal Women Towards Intergenerational Reconciliation. Using ceremony and protocols throughout the project, the first workshop began with a pipe ceremony, followed by a sharing circle in which participants talked about their lives, and the group discussed their individual and collective needs for support. They later moved on to making videos of their individual stories, which were screened in March 2012 at the University of Winnipeg. Footnote 119. One of the participants, Lorena Fontaine, said, quote, "Reconciliation is about stories and our ability to tell stories. I think the intellectual part of ourselves wants to start looking for words to define reconciliation. And then there's the heart knowledge that comes from our life experiences. It's challenging to connect the two and relate it to reconciliation." Without even thinking of the term reconciliation, I'm reminded about the power of story. People who watched the videos said that when they saw the faces of Aboriginal women and heard their voices in the videos, they understood assimilation in a different way. They felt the impact of assimilation. It's far more powerful to have Aboriginal peoples talk about the impact of assimilation and hope for reconciliation than having words written down in a report. End quote. Footnote 120. Research is vital to reconciliation. It provides insights and practical examples of why and how educating Canadians about the diverse concepts, principles, and practices of reconciliation contributes to healing and transformative social change. The benefits of research extend beyond addressing the legacy of residential schools. Research on the reconciliation process can inform how Canadian society can mitigate intercultural conflicts, strengthen civic trust, and build social capacity and practical skills for long-term reconciliation. First Nation, Inuit, and Métis people have an especially strong contribution to make in this work. Research partnerships between universities and communities or organizations are fruitful collaborations and can provide the necessary structure to document, analyze, and report research findings on reconciliation to a broader audience. Call to action number 65. We call upon the federal government through the Social Sciences and Humanities Research Council and in collaboration with Aboriginal peoples, post-secondary institutions and educators, and the National Centre for Truth and Reconciliation and its partner institutions, to establish a national research program with multi-year funding to advance understanding of reconciliation.